Today I am going to start with rearrangement of carbocations. Then what is carbocation? Cation is positive charge and carbo means carbon. So carbocation is a positively charged cation which is very reactive. Okay, and why there is a rearrangement of carbocation? Because to produce the more stable carbocation, and this rearrangement of carbocation that occur in SN1 reaction. Okay, so there are two types of the rearrangement. First is the hydride shift and second is the alkyl shift. So hydride shift, what is hydride shift? There is a movement of hydrogen from one carbon to neighboring carbon which is less substituted. Okay, so in this reaction the bond is heterolytically broken and there is a formation of the carbocation. Okay, but this carbocation which is attacked by the nucleophile that is the oxygen atom is a nucleophile that is from the water molecule and attack the carbocation and there is a formation of the protonated alcohol. Okay, see this is the protonated alcohol. Why? It is the addition of the hydrogen on this carbon atom. Okay, and this is acidic in form. Then next, in the next step there is a hydride shift. Hydride shift means that is the moment of hydrogen from this carbon atom to this carbon atom and there is a formation of carbocation. But in this case this is the secondary carbocation and this is the tertiary carbocation. Why? Because this carbon atom is attached to two alkyl groups and this carbon atom is attached to three alkyl groups and hence it is more stable because alkyl groups are electron releasing groups and carbocation is a electron deficient. So more the alkyl group attached to the carbon atom, it is more stable. Okay, understood? Next, alkyl shift. So not all the carbocations have suitable hydrogen atoms that are on adjacent carbon atoms available for rearrangement. In this case, the reaction can undergo a different mode of rearrangement known as alkyl shift. Okay, so in this case, what happened? The alkyl group, which is that shifts with the along with the nucleophile from this carbon atom to this carbon atom. Okay, so in this case the this is the carbocation which is secondary carbocation and in this this is the carbon atom that is carbocation is a tertiary carbocation. Okay, so alkyl shifts from this carbon atom to this carbon atom. Okay, and thus the tertiary carbocation which is formed that is the more stable. So this is the alkyl shift. Understood? Okay. Next, factors affecting the SN1 reaction. Okay, so which factors affect the SN1 reaction? First, ease with which the leaving group dissociates. Okay, so in SN1 reaction, the weaker the base, the less tightly it is bonded to the carbon and more easily the carbon halogen bond can be broken. Okay, so as a result, alkyl iodide is most reactive and alkyl fluoride is least reactive. Okay, and second factor is the stability of carbocation. So more stable the carbocation, more easily the reaction will be takes place. Okay, so this is the fundamental factors, two factors that affect the rate of reaction of SN1 reaction. And in SN1 reaction, the nucleophile, there is no role of nucleophile on the rate of the reaction because rate of reaction that does not depends upon the concentration of the nucleophile. Okay, understood? Next type of reaction is bimolecular nucleophilic substitution reaction. So before studying this reaction, we should know why alkyl halide have to start study of substitution reaction because they have relatively good leaving groups, that is the halide ions are easily displaced. Then why substitution reactions are important? because they make it possible to convert readily available alkyl halides into a wide variety of other compounds. Okay, and they are also important in the cells of plants and animals. Then let us see kinetics. So, in SN2 reaction, the rate of substitution reaction depends on both the alkyl halide and nucleophile. So, indicating that both the reactants are involved in the transition state of rate determining step. Okay. So, what is the rate determining step? It is presumed that the slowest step decides the overall rate of reaction and hence known as the rate determining step. It is the slowest step in the course of the reaction because in this step the bond breaking requires input of energy. For example, this bromoethane methane reacts with the nucleophile, that is OH hydroxide ion, that gives the methanol and bromide ion. So this is the example of the SN2 reaction. Okay. Next, reaction mechanism. In this mechanism, the hydroxide ion that approaches the carbon atom carrying halide ion, that is from the opposite side of CBr bond for the bond formation, that is COH bond formation. This type of the attack is called as the backside attack. At the same time, the CBr bond is breaking. Thus, the rate determining step involves both the CH3Br and OH hydroxide ion. Okay, so this stage is imaginated where the CBr bond is partly broken and COH bond is partly formed. The negative charge is shared by both incoming the nucleophile, that is hydroxide ion, and the leaving group, that is the bromide ion. This stage is known as the transition state and it is the highest energy state in the course of the reaction and may change into the product or may back to the reactant. When COH bond forms completely, at the same time CBr bond breaks completely and the reaction is completed. Okay, understood? Next, energy diagram of SN2 reaction. The graph of potential energy versus reaction coordinate is called as energy profile diagram. The highest peak in the curve represents the transition state and the difference in energy between reactant and transition state is called energy of activation, and between the product and reactant is called as the enthalpy change. Okay, also called as the heat of reaction. Then in case of exothermic reaction, when enthalpy change is negative, the product form is stable, whereas in case of endothermic reaction the enthalpy change is positive and product form is less stable as compared to the reactant. So in this curve the transition state is more crowded and hence there is a higher in energy level. Okay, understood? Next, stereochemistry of SN2 reaction. So, in this case, the product, that is the OH, occupies the position of the which is opposite to that of the Br in the reactant. Similarly, the position of H2 and H3 in the reactant and in the product are on the opposite sides, that is the inverted position. Due to the backside attack, the tetrahedral arrangement of the carbon atom in the product has become opposite to that of the reactant, and this is known as the inversion of configuration. This is the an umbrella that is turning inside out in an high wind rain. This backside attack of nucleophile leads to inversion of configuration. This inversion of configuration was theoretically anticipated by Paul Walden in 1896. The inversion is known as the Walden inversion. If the front side attack takes place, then in this situation the OH occupies the position that is in the product same as that of the position in the reactant, and the position of H1, H2 and H3 in the reactant and in the product are in the same position. Okay, therefore the configuration of the carbon is retained. This is known as the retention of configuration. If instead the CH3Br, an optically active substrate, is taken, the backside attack would lead to inversion of configuration. Okay, understood? Next, order of reactivity. So order of reactivity in the SN2 reaction increases with the decrease in the steric hindrance. That is, the if the steric hindrance increases, then the rate of reaction of SN2 reaction decreases. Why? Because in the CH3Br, just example, CH3Br, that is methyl bromide, then there is a increase in the number of the methyl group, that is, then increase in the methyl group, then there will be the increase in the steric hindrance at the carbon atom, and hence there will be the rate of the reaction of SN2 reaction that will decreases. So okay, understood? Thank you.